Bro, let me tell you about a dude who was so absolutely cracked that he killed 1,000 men with a donkey bone, ripped a lion apart with his bare hands, and then brought down an entire building on himself just to take out his enemies. This man was built different. Well, literally built different by God himself. This is Samson, and his story is absolutely insane. So, it all starts with Samson's mom. She couldn't have kids. And back then, that was devastating, bro. She's literally crying out to God like, please, I just want to be a mom. And then, out of nowhere, an angel pulls up. Not in a dream, not in a vision. This angel literally just appears and says, yo, you're gonna have a son. But here's the deal, this kid is gonna be special. He's gonna be a Nazarite from birth. That means no haircuts, no alcohol, no unclean food, because this boy, he's going to save Israel from the Philistines. So, Samson grows up, and from day one, everyone knows this kid is not normal. While other kids are playing with sticks, Samson is out here doing things that make absolutely zero sense. The Spirit of God would just randomly come upon him, and he'd have these insane bursts of supernatural strength. We're talking lift a car over your head type energy, except cars didn't exist yet. His hair just keeps growing, never been cut, and with every inch, bro is getting more and more powerful. He's basically the first superhero, except his power came directly from the Almighty. Now here's where it gets crazy. Samson is walking to meet a girl he likes. Yes, even biblical gigachads had a love life. And out of nowhere, a lion attacks him. A full-grown, hungry, absolutely furious lion. And what does Samson do? Does he run? Does he grab a weapon? Nah, brio. He grabs this lion with his bare hands and rips it apart like it was nothing. The Bible literally says, as one would tear a yoke. Bro, what? This man just casually committed lion murder with zero tools and kept walking like nothing happened. Absolute Sigma behavior. Now you gotta understand, Israel had a massive problem. The Philistines had been oppressing them for 40 years. 40 years. These dudes were ruthless, better weapons, better army. They had the Israelites absolutely shook. People were living in fear, paying tributes, getting bullied by this ancient superpower. But God had a plan, and that plan was one man. One absolutely jacked man with really long hair and zero chill. God was about to use Samson to single-handedly humble an entire nation. And bro, he was about to go off. So the Philistines eventually catch Samson. They tie him up with brand new ropes, thinking they finally got him. 1,000 soldiers surround him. 1,000. And they're all hyped, thinking this is the end of their problem. But then, the Spirit of the Lord comes upon Samson. The ropes on his arms become like burnt thread. He snaps them like nothing. He looks around, sees a fresh jawbone of a donkey on the ground, picks it up, and proceeds to annihilate 1,000 men. 1,000 with a bone. The Bible literally says he made heaps upon heaps of bodies. This man turned a donkey bone into the most overpowered weapon in history. Absolutely goated. Now here's where it all goes wrong. Samson falls for a woman named Delilah. And bro, this was not the one. She was gorgeous, absolutely stunning, but she was also working for the Philistines. They paid her 1,100 pieces of silver, each of the Philistine lords did, to find out the secret of his strength. And Delilah, she said bet. She starts playing the long game. Every night, same question. Baby, If you really loved me, you'd tell me the secret of your strength.
You can trust me, Samson.
This is textbook
Tell me
manipulation, bro.
You can
Red
trust
flag
me, Samson.
everywhere.
Trust me, Samson.
But
Tell me
Samson,
why-
he
tell
was
me
down
why-
bad.
You can trust me, Samson.
At first, Samson plays her. She asks his secret. He says, tie me up with 7 fresh bowstrings and I'll be weak. She does it. Philistines hiding in the room. She yells, the Philistines are here. And Samson just snaps them instantly. Trolled. She asks again. He says, new ropes that have never been used. Same thing. Snaps them like thread. Third time? Weave my hair into a loom. Nope. Still strong. Bro was literally just messing with her at this point. But Delilah wasn't giving up. She kept pressing day after day. You don't really love me? You're lying to me. She nagged him until his soul was, and I quote, vexed unto death. And then he broke. Samson told her everything. A razor has never touched my head. I've been a Nazarite to God since birth. If my head is shaved, my strength will leave me. Bro really just gave up the cheat code. The one thing he was never supposed to tell anyone. And he told the girl who had tried to get him captured 3 times already. That night, Delilah let him fall asleep on her lap. She called for a man to shave off the 7 locks of his hair. And for the first time in his life, the Spirit of the Lord left Samson. He woke up thinking he'd just break free like always, but he didn't know the Lord had departed from him. The Philistines took him. They gouged out his eyes. Let that sink in. The strongest man who ever lived, now blind, powerless, and broken. They threw him in prison, made him grind grain like an animal. The guy who killed 1,000 of their soldiers was now their slave, walking in circles, pushing a millstone, day after day, in complete darkness. No strength, no freedom, no hope. But here's the thing the Philistines missed. His hair, it started growing back. Then came the day. The Philistines threw a massive celebration. 3,000 people packed into their temple to praise their god Dagon for delivering Samson into their hands. They were hooked. Then someone had the bright idea. Hey, let's bring out Samson so we can mock him. So they drag out this blind chain man to be their entertainment. But they didn't notice something. His hair had grown back, not as long as before, but enough. They placed him between the 2 central pillars of the temple, and Samson asked the servant boy guiding him one simple question. Let me feel the pillars so I can lean on them. And then Samson prayed. For the first time in who knows how long, he talked to God. Lord God, remember me. Please strengthen me just this once, O God. Let me, with one blow, take vengeance on the Philistines for my 2 eyes. This wasn't about revenge. This wasn't about pride. This was a broken man asking God for one more chance to fulfill his purpose, to do what he was born to do, to save his people. One last time. Samson braced his hands against the pillars. He took a breath, and then he said the most hardcore final words in human history. Let me die with the Philistines. He pushed with everything he had, everything God gave him. The pillars cracked, the temple groaned. 3,000 Philistines realized in their final moments that they had made a terrible mistake. The whole building came more enemies of his death than he ever did in his life. He went out like an absolute legend. The man who was built different from birth died different too. Samson's story isn't about a guy with superpowers. It's about a dude who had every gift God could give him, messed up royally, hit absolute rock bottom, and still found his way back. He let his weaknesses, his pride, his lust, his inability to say no to the wrong woman nearly destroy everything, But in his darkest moment, blind and broken and forgotten, he remembered who gave him his strength in the first place. And God answered, because that's what he does, bro. No matter how far you've fallen, no matter how badly you've messed up, if you turn back to him, he's there. Samson was built different. But the real power, that was never his. It was always God's. And it's available to anyone who asks. On God. No cap.